Hello everyone, Jared Cherry Pie here, and welcome to my quick video tutorial on Dungeons of Eternity. In this video, I'll be going over some of the basics of the game, and I'll have some dedicated videos for other things later down. If you're interested in getting the game, please check the video description, and I'll have a referral link that will get you 25% off the game, and I'll get $5 store credit. I'd appreciate it a lot. Alright, starting out, got your main menu, got your character. Mine's got some cool green eyes. Don't worry about it. I was just experimenting with some magic. It went wrong. If you don't like your character, you can make up to 3 by hitting this little arrow down here. Or you can, of course, delete your character by holding that trash icon. So when you load in multiplayer or single player, this will be your starting area. You'll have up top the names of the players, their level. So I'm Jerry, level 30, and the little crown is who the host is. Since I'm the only person here, obviously I'm the host. Some quick button mappings for you. So obviously your left thumbstick is move around, your right thumbstick is look around or teleport. If you push in your left thumbstick, you start to run faster. If you press the A button, you jump. Obviously the faster you're moving, the farther you go. B button does nothing. The X button will open up your little chest area where you keep your items if you have any items, and Y also does nothing. Your left and your right hand grips are to pull out your weapons, so if you look down at your waist, you can grab your weapons. And if you do a throwing motion and let go, you will throw them. Woohoo! You can have 2 weapons on your side. And on your back, you can have another weapon. That's a slowing arrow. Anyways, so come inside your little starting area. So the first thing you'll notice to your left is this cool little thing that says unlocked with your handprint. Does absolutely nothing. You can ignore it. It's always unlocked. This is your main character here. Whenever you're doing a dungeon, you'll get random cosmetics and items, and you come here to equip them. So on the left-hand side, you'll see Avatar. This is where you equip your cosmetics to change your look, and it's all randomized when you unlock it. So whenever you are playing dungeons and you want to have the elf ears, if you don't find the elf ears, then you'll never get to have them. So that's the only kind of bad thing about this game, is the cosmetics are completely random. Hats over here, beards and whatnot. Now, on the loadout section, this is where you equip your weapons. You can pick your right sidearm, left, and a back item. Ranged/shield. You can have up to 3 different loadouts saved. So say you want to have a certain weapon set up for certain types of dungeons you're doing, and then you can go to loadout number 2 to change it, and everything will be saved, so you can change on the go real fast. As of right now, all of your armor items that are in your avatar section, these are all cosmetic. They don't do anything. Doesn't give you any single piece of stat. The weapons, when you're looking at a weapon, they'll tell you what it does. If you find some weapons and your thing starts to get filled up, you can click one that you don't want anymore, and you go down here and click the trash can icon to get rid of it, and it'll give you some gold. Your exosuit, this is for your perks. So you can have 4 different perks, 1 for each section. You click the little section, you see the perks that you have unlocked and what they do. Now, as far as getting perks, there is one of the dungeons I'll go over in a moment. But whenever you do the dungeon and you get the exo points, you come to the left-hand side here where it says exo points. You see your 4 different categories. So say, for example, mind. You see the different items. It tells you what level. Like this one, you have to be level 38 to unlock that one. And then you have to spend points to unlock them. There's 5 different levels. The first 2 levels cost 1 point each. This next 2 levels cost 2 points each. And the last one costs 3 points. When you have all 5 levels unlocked, the points avatar will disappear from here, and it'll only be on your character. So just in case you're leveling up and you're looking for your, you're looking for your item and you don't see it there anymore, that's because you reached the max level and it's over there. So the top right, you'll see your exo points, how many you have left available. And you basically can use it to customize your character. For example, you see you can take less, you can increase your throwing damage, you can take less damage from certain types of enemies, like less, see, less poison damage, less fall damage, whatnot. On the right hand side, you'll see your fabricator. So when you do a dungeon, you'll get a random blueprint. Then you have to come back here to the fabricate gear, and you'll see the item here. It's the newest item all the way to the right. So you see your item that you have. If you want it, it costs, right now everything costs gold only, so you just click it. It'll give you a quick little holographic preview of what it looks like, and then you click fabricate, and it makes the item real quick, and then you can equip it. There's different types of rarities. You've got like blue, green, purple, and each one has a certain amount of level that it can be in. So for example, legendary is the most powerful right now, and legendary, it's all based on your current character level. So say right now the max level is level 50. Say if you're a level 25 character and you get a legendary bow, it might do anywhere from 25 to 35 damage. So you might get it randomized and it might be 30 damage. Then you go back into another dungeon and you might get a rare bow that does anywhere from 20 to 30, and it does the same damage, or it might be even a little more. So just because you have a legendary item does not mean it's going to automatically do more damage than a rare or exotic or unique. It's always, there's kind of like this level range that the damage could be anywhere from. Also, legendary items usually have modifiers. So for example, this legendary dagger, you see it does 23 damage, plus it increases throw distance, and it does poison damage too. So legendaries are more likely to have 2 status effects, versus rares are more likely to have just 1 status effect. But as you see, this one right here has 2 itself. So there's some people complaining in Discord, hey, this legendary is doing less than my regular. That's the way it happens when you have a random dungeon. It's all randomized. Now, as far as I understand too, the dev said, I don't know if it's meant to be this way, but there might be a small glitch where the item level is dependent on maybe your current items in here, and also whoever's hosting the dungeon. So if you join a random party and you're level 30 and the person hosting it is level 10, you're more likely to get lower quality weapons. So you should always try to be with people near your level, or you host it. And also, if you come to this fabricate gear section and you have like a bunch of low level weapons and you're not using them, trash the ones, salvage them so that they're not taking up space in your inventory and possibly lowering your next item level. So that's it for weapons real quick. If you go back, you can fabricate potions. In order to unlock potions, you have to have soul points. Soul points are another type of dungeon. But so you see right here the 4 that I've unlocked, and then this one, it says I need 56 more souls. It says 56 souls needed to unlock, and down here it says 244 souls, but that's not what it means. It means you need 56 more, so a total of 300 souls. And then 2,000 is the highest one that you need. But you can have potions, regular potions, bombs, haste, ice, and I'll go over all that in another video. But some real quick things. So you see some potions, you fabricate them. You can find them in dungeons, or you can fabricate a few before you go into a dungeon. And right now there's no fast way to make a potion. You have to do 1 at a time. You can store up to 3 at a time. So for your health potions, and all the potions, if you grab it, you just reach your hand to your chest and then press your grab button. It pops open, and then you can grab it out of there. If you press your trigger button, it pops the top off, and then you put it over you to drink it like you're gulping it down, and that's it. You get its benefit. Health potions, the big ones, do more damage, do more helping if you grab it and you pop the top off and you throw it and smash it on the ground. Now you get this big old spot around you, and when you stand in it, it heals you, and your teammates stand in it and it heals them too. So it's better to smash healing pots on the ground than it is to just drink them down. There's also a little tip that they did not explain very well in the game. If your teammate is downed and you throw the healing potion down on the ground next to them, it picks them back up after about 5 seconds. So always save your healing potions to throw them on the ground. Now that's not the same for the individual small ones. The small ones that receive 25% health, those ones you can only chug down yourself. There is a resurrect potion that you can unlock, and that one resurrects your down teammates too, just like the healing potion does. The major difference between the two is the resurrect potion brings them back in about 1 second, and the healing potion brings them back in about 5 seconds. So sometimes in some hard dungeons, when you're not sure if you're going to be able to revive, that 4-second difference might make your teammate, might make you lose the mission. Throw the resurrect on them, but generally the game's not that hard where it's needed. So just worry about getting healing potions and resurrects if you come across them in a dungeon. As you're doing a dungeon, any potions and gems that you find that you don't use, they come back to you when you're done the dungeon in this lobby. Keys do not. So don't worry about if you didn't use the potions. You save them. Generally, you only have to kind of make potions for the first time you want to do a dungeon run if you're having difficulty. Then after that, you'll find plenty. Now up here is your map area. To pick a map, you walk up to it. You have your realm selector here, so from left to right it is easier to harder. They didn't specify exactly how the harder difficulty increases, but from what I understand, from what I've witnessed myself, is the harder dungeons, you'll usually have more enemies at a time. You'll start to have enemies with status effects, like they might have freezing arrows or poison arrows. Usually they'll start to have more armor. For example, the skeletons will have armor, so if you shoot the armor instead of their bones, you might have to re-aim again and hit their bones, so it makes it a little bit harder to win, but it's still really not too bad at all. And also with the harder difficulty dungeon, when you get chests, you have a chance of getting better loot. So I kind of suggest up to level 10 or so, since you really only start with 1 or 2 basic weapons till you start to get some weapons, you might want to stick with just the first couple of dungeons. Otherwise, you're just going to have kind of an annoying time. So you pick your different realms to see which dungeon you want. You've got 3 types of dungeons. Your red dungeons are your standard dungeon. So you see you got a randomized map, you kill monsters, you get loot, you get items from chests. The green dungeons are your soul harvesting dungeons. They only have 1 center room and a couple of rooms surrounding it. And that's from that guy down there. So basically, you start in there, you get the staff, you zap enemies to turn them green. When they turn green, then you kill them and you use that staff to collect their souls. And you have 3 different ways that you fight. When you do the blue dungeons, these are your exopoint dungeons or your crystal dungeons. So it's always a pyramid. You go to a main room and that room has 3 other rooms near it. You run around and you'll collect these crystal looking things. You put them back in the main center room and then you have to defend it for a few minutes against a wave of enemies. And for every crystal that you defend, you get 1 point for your skill tree. You always get 3 crystals at a time, so if you save all 3 crystals, you get 3 points. If one of them gets zapped or 2 of them get zapped, that means you only get 1 less or 2 less points. If you want to select a mission, you pick your dungeon, you hold the trigger, and then if you're the host, you don't have to worry about anybody else, but if there's anybody else in the game, it'll show you what dungeon they want to play. And then so the host picks the dungeon that he wants to play. You'll see a little crown next to it. When you're done, you have to make sure you go up to the main screen here and click launch mission. Then over here to the right, your teleport pad opens up. If the host stands on the teleport pad, it automatically counts down from 15 seconds down to 0. If all the players that are in the lobby step on the teleport pads, then it jumps down to 5 seconds down to 0. So if you're the host and somebody's running around not joining you, you can always go ahead and stand on this teleport pad, and after 15 seconds, it'll force start the dungeon. If you change your mind, go back here and hit abort mission. If you want to deselect the mission, you click the trigger to deselect it, and now you go back in your realm select. And again, so if like one of your teammates picks a realm over here, you'll see a little exclamation point, and then their dungeon will pop up with their name underneath it showing what they picked. If you're the host and you play a dungeon and you liked it, like say it had a lot of good chests in there, you can come over here to the save dungeon. After you're done the mission, put your hand here to unlock it, and then you would click save dungeon. You can store up to 10 dungeons. It just kind of tells you the name of the dungeon that you just played, which is over here. These little names here. You can cycle through it left and right. It tells you what day you saved it, and then you just click launch dungeon, and then you click start the mission, and you go down there and play it. If you have a dungeon you don't want anymore, you select it and you hit the trash icon to unsave it. Right now the game's glitched, so if you're playing with other people in your party and like say you try to save somebody else's dungeon, it doesn't work, it causes the game to crash or it causes that dungeon to never load. So right now you should only worry about saving the dungeons if you were the one hosting the party. Let's see, as of right now, that room does nothing. This probably be for future content updates. Got your leaderboards here. Got your friends list where you can invite friends to your game. Down here is the little soul harvesting guy. He just speaks a bunch of gibberish. Don't worry about him. He doesn't do anything in this lobby area. But after you do the souls dungeon and you beat it, you will get teleported back to this spot. He'll float here slowly, and then he'll open up a chest right here for you to get some loot. So make sure when you turn in your souls out in those types of dungeons, don't run away. Wait around for the loot. As of right now, nothing goes on over there. That's just a back alleyway to your dungeons. This back corner room doesn't do anything. It's just for like role playing. If you want to sit down around the fire, you can grab some drinks, tell some stories with your friends, and just kind of relax. That's it. Down here, below the map room area, is your training ground, so you can get some training in. I'll go over a few mechanics in there. So as you're playing a level online, if you get lost with your friends and you don't know where anybody's at, if you click in your right thumbstick, you'll hear like this angelic noise. That noise. Oh! What it does is it will highlight your teammates with a blue outline so you see where they are. It doesn't matter where they are in the dungeon, you'll be able to see them. This game does have a proximity voice chat, so if your teammates are nearby, I'd say about 2 to 3 rooms away, you'll hear them. And the farther away they go, the quieter they'll get. But once you go past about 3 rooms, you can't hear them anymore. So if you get lost, right-click that thumbstick and look for them. Here's you got Combat Trainer. Put your hand here to activate it. You can spawn up to 10 enemies, and they're not really 10 at a time. It only spawns 1 enemy at a time. So you click the one that you want. This little robot will spawn one, and after you kill them, the next one will spawn. It's kind of lame. It doesn't really get very challenging. It's just kind of for trying out weapons. Over here to the right is your archery pad. You can step on it to activate your archery targets and get some training in. Woo! 30 points, baby. Your weapons, when you throw them away, they will automatically come back to you after a few seconds. And if you want, this game does have like a gravitational effect. So if you throw the item away and you put your hand back out, they'll come back to you. Same thing with anything you see on the ground, whether it's potions or coins or keys. If you see it on the ground, just put your hand towards it and grab, and it'll come floating towards you. Ooh, there it goes. So one thing that you can do with enemies, obviously, is you can throw your weapon at them. If you miss, it comes back. Generally, if you hit an enemy, it sticks in them and you can't grab that weapon anymore. You just have to wait for it to respawn and throw it again. Alright, so up here you have your little rope training. This game is a little complicated with the ropes. Let me explain it. So obviously the first way you can climb the rope is just like a normal motion. You grab each rope, let go, grab, let go. If you want to go faster, you can just grab on with one hand, keep your other hand free, and then look up and press the A button. And then if you want to go down, look down and press the A button and keep holding it. And that's how you climb the rope fast. The rope does have speed, so if you look barely up, your character goes slow. If you look straight up, it goes faster. So you go really slow up and then fast. If you get stuck like someone above you, just use your right stick to maneuver around, spin in a circle, and keep going up. To dismount, this is the tricky part. So keep holding the rope with your left hand. Use your right hand to aim, push your thumbstick forward, you see your feet where you're going to land, and then while still holding on with your left grip, let go of the right stick, and you teleport. Ooh, sometimes it's hard to grab the rope when you're jumping around, but do that again. You keep holding the rope with your left hand, push your right thumbstick where you want to land, and then let go of the right thumbstick, and you'll just teleport there. Do not let go of the left grip at all. Otherwise, you will fall down to your death. Some rooms will have doorways that are blocked, and they'll have a corresponding symbol. So you see this little symbol matches what's on the door over there. So if you pull this lever, the door will close. And if you pull the lever again, it will open back up. So sometimes you can trap your teammates inside rooms. Over here is your different types of weapons. So this just kind of gives you a brief overview of all the weapons, and I'll have a different video explaining all the different types of weapons. But generally, each weapon does have a specific purpose. Daggers are faster throwers and they respawn faster. Hammers do more damage against armor. Swords are better for melee attacks and parrying. Axes, you can throw them and they have a little homing. All the weapons kind of home a little bit, but axes home really well. So when you see an enemy far away, you just reach out your axe. Oops, wrong side. You grab your axe and just throw it at them, and it'll go towards them and hit them. Bows, self-explanatory, you shoot. Magic staffs, they are powered by gems. So sometimes you get a staff that doesn't have any magical power. All you do is just whack people with it. If it doesn't say like a fireball staff, it has no power. If it says fireball staff or ice staff, you'll have a little white gems that you collect in the dungeon. They're called power gems. You have to use that gem in the staff to power it. And then after you use it a few times, the power goes away. You have to put more gems in there. That's what the power gems do. Shield, you bash enemies away. And then crossbows, you can load them up and you get shot. Instead of having to keep pulling your arrow back and holding it to let go, you just load it one time and shoot. And if you want to see your health in the middle of a dungeon, lift up your left wrist and you'll see 100% health. Also, the more you get hurt, these little runes on your hand, you see these runes, they'll start to light up. So if they're really bright red, that means you're almost dead. And then also here, you'll see your coins. As of right now, the dungeons are saved after every chest that you do. So say you loot a chest and you get a nice item and your game crashes or you get disconnected or your headset dies, the items that you found will be back in the lobby waiting for you in your room. Sometimes they don't show up right away. The game's a little glitchy. In that case, they say just quit to the main menu, start a solo dungeon, and they'll pop back up after you finish your next solo dungeon, or you can quit the game, wait a day or so, like, say you're going to bed, and the next day they should pop up. But don't worry. If you looted a chest, your items should still be there. If you finish a dungeon, your items will be there. It's just sometimes the game's glitchy. I've seen glitches where people start the game and they're reset back to level 1. Same thing. When you start a solo dungeon and you finish it, you'll back to your normal level. But hopefully this will give you a quick overview of the game mechanics. If you have any questions, post them below. Check the description again for the link for 25% off the game. And subscribe. I'll do some more videos on the different types of dungeons and the different mechanics of the weapons and the potions. Thanks for watching, everybody. Catch you in the next one.